What's up guys, Damian Keyes here, welcome back to the channel. So, this week, Daniel Ek, the founder of popular music streaming platform Spotify and very wealthy human individual, has pledged €1 billion, $1.2 million, which he is going to invest of his own money into some new ecosystems. Oh my God, this is amazing. Daniel Ek is going to invest his own money, $1 billion, into some new ecosystems. Except there's a problem for us, which is, whilst he has made his billions from the music industry and from musicians, he is not investing any of that money into the music industry or musicians. He has said he is going to invest in science and biotech, and he's even going to work with governments and entrepreneurs to capitalize on the shitness that is the thing outside that cannot be named for monetization purposes. He is going to capitalize on that, and he's saying there is so many opportunities that we can't let this pass us by, and I'm going to invest $1 billion of my own money into doing this. Meanwhile, the music industry is on its knees. The events industry has collapsed. Musicians all over the world are struggling to pay bills, probably having to move back home. They've got no income. Some governments, depending what country you're in, are trying to support, but it's so minimal. In the UK, the new system that has been set up for self-employed, which musicians fall into, will cover 20% of their income. 20% when it comes to jobs, they were paying 80% of jobs, which is fine if you work in a job that is needed, but for musicians, you get 20%. How is this going to work? Because it said that 90% of music venues, and I'm not talking about in the UK, I'm talking about 90% of music venues are looking like they might collapse with no return. Can you imagine that? Because musicians make 80% of their money from touring, which means there is no touring. There are no festivals. Live Nation has lost 97% of its income, which means there's no ways of going out and making money. This is a huge, massive problem. And so who do we turn to? Well, probably we turn to the one person that is there saying since its inception, since the beginning, that he is there to help musicians make a living wage from their music. He said he started Spotify to tackle piracy so that he could help musicians with earning a living wage. Now let's just look at the stats here because, let's not pass this up. If you want to earn the minimum wage as a musician, then you have to be streamed around about 3,000 to 3,500 times every hour, which means you have to be streamed 20,000 times a day, which means that you need to be streamed somewhere between 100 and 150,000 times a week, which means you need to be streamed between 6 and 7 million times a year for you to get minimum wage. But wait, that's you as a solo artist who owns the master, who owns the publishing, who owns everything. What happens if you're in a band of 3 or 4 or 5 or have a manager or a record label? 6 to 7 million streams for you to earn the same as if you go and serve some coffee somewhere or on minimum wage. So when Daniel Ek says, we're here to help, I get it, it's brilliant. Spotify is a fantastic thing where you can get your music heard and there is no gatekeeper, but Spotify has become the gatekeeper, which is okay, I guess. But now, in the time of need, when the music industry has collapsed or the event side of the music industry has collapsed, maybe record labels are doing fine, but I can promise you when it comes to musicians, I'm dealing with the musicians. I'm dealing with thousands and thousands of musicians via my channel, via DK Music Business Academy, via my business, which, to be fair, has collapsed. Usually, the management company that I have, we have 30 bands on the books. Usually, we do somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 events. 1,000 to 1,500 gigs, between each gig being 3 to 5 musicians. Over the last 6 months, we've done about 3 gigs. We've lost everything of income. There is no there is nothing on the horizon because the next 6 months looks like we're about to go into another lockdown, which means nothing is going to come until possibly February, March, April. Theatres have closed. Cirque du Soleil, 3,500 jobs have just gone. When it comes to gigs, will we be back properly by March, April, May, June? If we miss next summer, there's another huge problem. Meanwhile, musicians can't do cruises because they've gone. They can't do wedding gigs, which might not be the highest end level. You might not be doing festivals and stadiums, but for a lot of musicians, that's their bread and butter. That is how they pay the bills whilst they're doing their own music. But you can't because the weddings have gone as well. So right now, musicians are screwed. They are looking for anything at all. And while Daniel Ek is well within his rights to invest in whatever he wants, what a kick in the teeth to say, I'm going to take $1 billion of my money, which I've earned from the music industry, and think, whoa, the music industry is dodgy. I should probably go and invest somewhere else where it's safer and try and capitalize on opportunities in other sectors. And he's basically said, I'm going to take my money and I'm going to invest it in science and energy and entrepreneurs and startups to have all of these ecosystems so that Daniel Ek can become even more powerful. And instead of just being a powerhouse in the music industry, he wants to be an Elon Musk. He wants to own Europe. Even one of the things he said was to make Europe great. And I was like, where have we heard that? Making Europe great again. I mean, come on. This is starting to get power outside of the music industry. And from a musician's point of view, we are back in a position that we were in 10 years ago, 15 years ago, looking around going, oh, we need a gatekeeper. We don't have the same options. And we're going to get there again. And Daniel Ek is just giving us a massive kick in the teeth right at the point where musicians need something more than they've ever before. Because like I said, touring, gigs, it's 80% of most musicians' income. And at the moment, it's been taken away. So I want to know what you think, because I do a lot of videos about Spotify and Daniel Ek, and to be fair, I felt like I've stuck up for him a lot, and I felt like I've stuck up for Spotify because it can be and is an amazing thing in its own right. But when I heard this, I was like, oh, mate, you're not helping yourself. What you've done here is you've put the boot into musicians at a time when they really, really need help. And instead of taking that billion and saying, look, it would be fun to invest in these other things, the music industry is where I've come from. It's where I've made my money. It's what's made me. I should probably be investing back, whether it's into venues or events or some kind of software which is built into Spotify, allowing musicians to make more money. And he didn't. He's not doing that. And if he is, he's kept it close to his chest. So I want to know what you think about this, because I'm really disappointed. I'm quite hurt by this. So I want to know what you think in the comments below, that Daniel Ek is going to take $1 billion or $1.2 billion and invest in outside of the music industry, leaving you guys to fend for yourself. Let me know what you think. But as always, if you can do me a favor, I know this is a very dark one, but if you can hit the like button for me, even if you're not hitting the like button for this news, if you can do me a favor, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, come and be a part of this community. And if you want to have deeper conversations about this or about anything in the music industry and work closer with me, then don't forget, DK Music Business Academy is a place where we can work together on your music. So if you want to check out the link, that is underneath this video. But otherwise, don't be too angry. Come back tomorrow. There'll be another, hopefully more positive video, and I'll see you guys soon.